Hello, hola. Welcome to What She Said. All right, it's the 8 p.m. daily podcast. If you see me, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. And today we have a lot to talk about. The NFL Combine has generated some news and some updates that we are going to discuss. Let's see who's in here. Welcome. Hey, Gracie. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I'm glad you're here for the fun that's getting ready to ensue. We're talking about the NFL Combine and maybe, if we have time, some other things. So welcome. If you're in the background, hit the like button for me. If you want to drop us an emoji to let us know how you're doing, feel free to do so. Also, it's almost Friday and it's almost Valentine's Day. Does anybody have any big plans for Valentine's Day that you can share and that you want to share? That's PG. Share with What She Said, the What She Said podcast family. We're listening. I'm going to put on some music and we're going to vibe, give everybody a chance to log in, and we're going to get going. See, this is really how I feel right now. That's how I feel. I'm not going to lie. That's my current mood. However, we just going to go ahead on and chill out. All right, this is the sounds of Bougie Beats on Spotify. Listen in your car, at home, when you're studying, or just chilling. And you need to collect yourself. Rather than going online or venting, listen to Bougie Beats. Go to Spotify, look up Bougie Beats, BOUGIEBEATZ, and press play. All right. There's 5 of us here. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. All right, so let's get going. All right, so the first announcement right out the gate. Travis Hunter seems to be participating in the NFL Combine, not as a wide receiver and a corner, but strictly as a wide receiver. Now, I have a few thoughts on why this could be taking place, but of course, I'd like to get your feedback in the chat. Let me know your thoughts on why it is that Travis Hunter could be participating in the Combine as a one-way player, meaning as a cornerback and not a wide receiver. Gracie, you said you thought about it? All right. So here's what I think, okay? Travis wants to be a two-way player, right? And it seems to be that the NFL is analysts and pundits and former players seems to believe that Travis has already proven himself as a cornerback. So really, there's no need for him to prove himself as a corner. I mean, it's futile for Travis to go to the Combine and show what he can do as a corner when they already know that he's a solid corner and have already suggested multiple times if he enters the draft, it should be as a corner. So if I want to be a two-way player, corner and wide receiver, and I'm solid as a corner, there must be some question about my receiver skills. Now, as a fan of the Colorado Bucks and Travis Hunter, I can't possibly understand why anybody would doubt his skills on either side of the ball. He was hella impressive to me as a receiver. I saw him, I remember the picks as a corner, but the catches Travis made as a receiver, he should definitely go into the draft as both. And to me, that opens up the door as to who can draft him. Because let's say Cleveland wants to draft him as a corner, but the Giants, a better market, wants to draft him as a receiver. Guess where I want to go? I feel like he should get to choose between 2 and 3 instead of going to Cleveland where Myles Garrett already wants to leave. I mean, neither are winning organizations, but if I gotta pick my poison, I'm picking the Giants because they're at least in a better market. Travis brings star power. He's already, has Adidas endorsements. In my opinion, he really shouldn't have to do much at the Combine outside of weighing in and checking his height. We know exactly who he is on both sides of the ball. So that's my theory. My theory is there are people questioning his skills as a receiver, and Travis choosing to work out. Well, actually, no, he's choosing to work out as a corner. I don't know why he would do that. I really don't. To me, I would think if he worked out, he should work out as a receiver, because that's where he's being questioned. But apparently, he's just working out as a corner. So if something happened, if you know what it is, let me know. Personally, I would work out as both. And by workout, I mean check my height and weight, because we know who he is. 400 Circle Media, welcome, welcome, welcome. It said New York is better for him. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't care what side of the ball. If it comes down to Cleveland, or if it comes down to New York, the Giants, both are losing organizations, but we all know New York is a better market when it comes to the fan base, the money, yada, yada, yada. So I think Travis should work out on both sides. That way, he's not locked into I don't think he should allow himself to be locked in like that. So let me know your thoughts. One of them going to Cleveland, Myles Garrett gonna be gone. So y'all think Myles Garrett is gonna leave, period. Well, that means that Travis is probably going to Cleveland then. If it's known that Myles Garrett is leaving, and I did hear Jason Kelce say that he should go to Philly, then Travis is likely going to go to Cleveland. But to me, if he works out as a corner and not as a receiver, I feel like he's limited his options. Travis's versatility makes him, gives him the option to pick. If the Giants don't need a receiver and they need a corner, he could go there too. Or let's say that he goes to Cleveland as a receiver, and he's like, you know what, I'd rather play corner. He can go to a different team. I just think his versatility makes him an asset, and for him to be boxed in, something I say, don't let people box you in, I feel like it's taking away some of his power. That's how I feel about it. Damon said, that Myles Garrett is gone. So if Myles Garrett is gone, then Travis will be a corner. I don't think he should be locked in like that. I really don't care for that very much. I feel like it's trying to strip down the ability for him to be versatile and for him to choose. If the Giants want him as a receiver, I think if Cleveland says, hey, we want him as a corner, I think this is where he can choose. And we know in the past, Bo Jackson chose. He's not the only one. John Elway chose. So I think personally he should go in the draft as both. And if the undesirable team wants him to be a corner and the desirable team, the more desirable team wants him to be a receiver, I think he should choose. That's my stance on it. Get the money. And to me, where would he get the most money? Isn't it at the receiver position? Let me know your thoughts. Would Travis get the most money as a receiver? He can be in a box and he got to get the money. The question is, would he get the money as a corner or as a receiver? That's the question. And is his working out as a corner only in the combine a signal that he's going to go into the draft as a corner? And remember, they're interviewing with these teams while we don't know about it. So he likely has already worked out, or he likely has already talked to Cleveland. He likely has already talked to the Giants. But I haven't really heard Travis being a lock to the Giants. It was only Cleveland and the Patriots. But I don't think Travis, if Myles Garrett is truly leaving, I don't see Travis being available after the second pick. I think Cleveland is just going to dive right in, take Travis Hunter. Now, remember, Cleveland had the ability for Travis Hunter to play both ways. So maybe he's not giving up his power to play both ways when he gets to his respective organization. But I do think in the draft, if he's working out as a corner, he's only seen as a corner, it limits his versatility and his options on where he could go. Thank you, Circle 400 Media, for that. All right, so that's where we start. Travis Hunter working out as a corner only in the NFL Combine. I don't know what they mean by work out. I heard Shilo Sanders, his workout is technically possibly his height and his weight. I heard that earlier today. And it seems to me that Shador said he had 2 workouts. He said he only had 2. So it sounds like they know who they're working out for right now, unless Shador just knows early. And he said he's only working out, the only ones he had yesterday, a day before, were the Giants and Cleveland, which is the number 2 and number 3 pick. And we know nobody thinks Cleveland is picking a quarterback, so that seemed like a futile effort. And then we have the Giants. And yesterday, Kiel, who's a Giants fan, what she said, podcast family member, said that the Giants might move into the veteran market because everybody's fawning over the veterans like Aaron Rodgers and Sam Darnold and possibly Matthew Stafford, Daniel Jones. I'm like, okay, I have thoughts on that, but I'm going to come back to it. So it said, we know the receivers get more money. That's what I thought, Justin Jefferson, right? So again, I don't understand the whole cornerback theory unless he just want to go to Cleveland and he wants to position himself as number 2, unless he thinks that maybe Tennessee will take him as a corner. But Tennessee already said that they're open to discussing the possibilities about their pick, including trading the pick. So I don't know. And I don't know. I wonder if Travis is working out for Tennessee. Shador did not indicate he was working out with Tennessee. Cleveland and the Giants. I don't know what to make of that. So I don't know what to make of that. What do y'all make of Shador only working out for those for Cleveland and for the Giants? He just need to go top 3. Travis, yeah. So that top 3 is we don't know who number 1 is. Maybe Tennessee, maybe the Raiders. I think it's the Raiders. I said that yesterday. I'm staying firm on that. I'm not gonna give up my right arm about it. But if Vegas was taking bets, I'm betting money that Vegas is trading up to the number 1 spot. I think Travis, on my video, I said Shador number 1, Travis number 2 to Cleveland. I don't know if the Giants even have a need. I think their need is more crucial towards a quarterback. And if they're planning to drop into the second, I know they're probably going to take Jackson Dart. I don't see them taking Jalen Milroe. He's the 3rd quarterback off the board. And I don't see them getting a receiver in the 1st round. And I'm talking about the Giants. Money. Yeah, I agree. All right. So that's that with Travis. Just wanted to throw that update out there. It said he's not playing 2-way. 400 Circle Media, you say Travis is not going to play 2-way? You think that's why he's only working out as a corner? Well, if he's not playing 2-way, why isn't he working out as a receiver? Why isn't he going into the draft as a receiver only? That's what I wanted to know. So that's where we are with Travis. All right, so let's get into the skinny. The meat and potatoes about today. I know y'all already heard Shilo. The headlines are making the rounds, and it says Shilo was snubbed from the combine. I'm like, okay. First and foremost, you do not have to go to the combine to be drafted. If you do not get an invite to the combine, it is not an indication that you're not being drafted. One of the reasons I think maybe Shilo and Will Shepherd have not received an invite to the combine, outside of politics, trying to snub Coach Prime again, trying to make sure that Colorado doesn't have more invitees than Iowa State and Arizona State, and y'all know why, Big 12 Conference, college football playoffs. I think this is political. I think in terms of football, I think this is a recruiting flex, and I do not believe that they would have given Colorado more than Iowa State and Arizona State. BYU only had 1 invitee. The Big 12 only had 37 invitees overall. Can you guess what conference had the most NFL Combine invitees for 2025? Let me know. You probably could guess it. Yeah, that's right, the SEC. So what does that tell you? What how many SEC teams were in the national championship? 1, maybe 2, maybe 0. How many SEC teams were in the quarterfinals, the semifinals? Let me know. Who was in the last 4? I know Arizona State was, Oregon, let's see, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Any SEC schools? How many SEC schools were in the Natty? How many SEC schools were in the semifinals? I'm waiting for y'all to tell me. It says facts. Yes. All right. It said Dion told him. Dion told who? You talking about Shilo? I don't even think, honestly, I think Shiloh's getting drafted. In fact, I know Shiloh's getting drafted. It's been said that he's already going in the 3rd round. So here's what it's looking like to me. If they say he's going in the 3rd round, I say he's going in the late 2nd. I said it. I said he's going somewhere in the 2nd round. Earlier today in the comments section, I think, was it James that said it? James, Damon, somebody from What She Said podcast family said that a lot of people are going to be shocked about who gets drafted and who does not on draft day. I totally agree. I totally agree. People trying to taunt Shador and tell him he's falling to number 6. Travis supposedly fell out of the 1st round yesterday. Cam Ward hasn't been drafted yet. And we already talked about the 2nd round with Miro and Dart. So to me, there's a lot of politics at play here. And I know that there were 329 invites. But you're not going to tell me it's not politics when Colorado had 6 players in the Hula Bowl. 6 players, 5 or 6 in the Shrine Bowl. Hula Bowl had 28 invitees. Colorado had 2 standout players, 6 players all in all, 2 standouts and 0 invites. Really? So no Chidozie and no Justin Mayers, but they both were standout players. So out of the 28 invites, no Justin Mayers, no Chidozie, and we had 6 players, probably the most, if I had to guess, or tied for the most at the Hula Bowl. Politics. Because if you add the 4 that we already have, and y'all know LeJohntay didn't get his right away. That had to come later, right before the Shrine Bowl. LeJohntay, Travis, Shador, and who is it? Jimmy Horn Jr. That's 4. If you add 2 players who were standouts from the whole Hula Bowl, that's 6. Remember, we had 5 or 6 players in the Shrine Bowl. Let's just add on Will Shepherd to the receiving corps. That's 7. Then let's add on Cameron Steele McCraig and Shilo. That's 9. You really think they're going to give Colorado 9 invites? No. Because that would be the most in the Big 12. Right now, Arizona State had a total of 4, and y'all know they went to the semifinals. Iowa State is the school with the most combine invites, and they went to the Pop-Tart Bowl. Politics. BYU only had 1 player, and they were tied for 3rd in the Big 12. And then there's Colorado with 4. They were not going to give Colorado its rightful due. They were not going to honor the entire elite wide receiver corps, and nobody is leaving Will Shepherd on the board. We all know that. To me, Will Shepherd doesn't even have anything to prove, which brings me to Shilo. Shilo was an honorable mention. Shilo played the entire game. We already knew he was getting drafted. The question is, was he going to be publicly acknowledged to being drafted in the third day or the 2nd day? That's really what it's coming down to, because I told you he's getting drafted. To me, he's a late 2nd round draft pick. So is Will Shepherd. I said LeJohntay and Jimmy Horn Jr. are late 1st round draft picks. So whoever it was from What She Said family that said it's going to be a lot of people surprised on draft day, it is. Because how does the SEC have the most invites and they didn't have a team in the Natty? I don't even know if they had a team in the semifinals, the quarterfinals. Politics. That's why Colorado doesn't have the rightful 9 people to be drafted, because Arizona State has 4 and Iowa State has 5, and Arizona State went where? Politics. This is about recruiting. That's why the SEC has the most. So they can go to the players they want to sway from Colorado, that they want to sway from Syracuse, that they want to sway from Notre Dame, that they want to sway from Ohio State, and say, you know what? We have the most. You should come to an SEC school. Politics. But we're going to see who get drafted. Let's see who really gets drafted. Because the stats are 2/3 of the players that go to the combine get drafted. Everybody does not get drafted. And there are players that have not been invited to the combine that are playing in the NFL right now. Politics. This is nothing but politics. This is nothing a good look for recruiting. That's why UT has 14, but UT was in the semifinals. So, okay, I understand that. But outside of UT, who else was the last 4 teams? Who else from the SEC? Ole Miss? What about Mississippi State? Let's see. Who else? Clemson? Come on, guys. For the SEC to be leading, it got to be UT putting them over the top. They have 14, but it makes sense. But I don't see with the Big 12 only having 37, Colorado getting 9, and Arizona State went to the Natty. I don't even understand how Iowa State get more than Arizona State unless Arizona State don't have a lot of people declaring for the draft. They only had Scatterboo, McMillan, and 2 other people. Iowa State had 5. Colorado had 4. So when it comes to the Big 12, we right up there. We actually have more than BYU. And I don't know if that's because, again, they don't have a lot of seniors, or maybe they don't have NFL aspirations. I'd have to look into it. But we're 3rd in the Big 12 with 4. I'm just saying the SEC will still, what does it say? The SEC, right, the SEC. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah. We know what that's about. It's the same reason we hear Stephen A. Smith and ESPN crew constantly talking about the SEC because they have a contract to push them to the forefront. If UT was not in the SEC, come on now. Oregon is leading in its conference, the Big Ten. I guess rightfully so until they lost to Notre Dame. I don't know what Notre Dame has. I haven't really had a chance to see what they have. But, there's politics. That's politics. It's just politics. That's to me, it's just politics. They're not giving Colorado 9s. The entire wide receiver corps, that meant Colorado had 5. You really ain't gonna give Colorado 5 the same as ASU? No. Actually, ASU only had 4. Iowa State had 5. Y'all know they went to the Pop-Tart Bowl. They went to the Big 12 Bowl. They already snubbed us out of the bowls. You don't really think they're gonna snub us when it comes to the invitees? Shilo doesn't need a combine invite to prove he can be drafted. To me, that's why he played the entire Shrine Bowl. 92 invites came from the Shrine Bowl. Did you see 92 people on that field? No. Some people still have to prove themselves. So to me, that's why he doesn't have one. In addition to the fact that they already knew he was a day 3 draftee and he was just out there working to improve his stock. I think he's going before day 3. I think Will Shepherd is going before day 3. Will Shepherd didn't get one. I don't hear nobody crying about that. But it's because Shiloh's last name is Sanders. They're just trying to point out who he was snubbed. Was he, or was Colorado snubbed? Was the Big 12 snubbed? 37 out of 329? Maybe the Big 12 was snubbed. That's how I look at it. Because Iowa State only had 4. Arizona State only had 4, so maybe the Big 12 was snubbed. To me, it's politics, however you want to lay it. Politics by conference, politics by school, politics and to favor recruiting, because no way the SEC should have the most. No way the SEC should have the most. That's how you know it's politics. I don't usually pay attention to them, so let me see who they SEC's football teams are. Let's see. So you got Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Florida Gators, Georgia, Kentucky Wildcats, LSU, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, South Carolina. South Carolina had 11. Tennessee, Texas A&M, the Longhorns, and Vanderbilt. Politics. Because when you look at the standings for football, let's see. Texas was 3rd overall, so they should have 14. Georgia was 2nd. Tennessee was 7th. How many invitees did Tennessee have? Ole Miss was 4th. Missouri was 5th. South Carolina, 6th. Alabama was the last ranked school. So LSU, Texas A&M, Florida, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Auburn, Kentucky, and Mississippi State, they shouldn't have but 1 each. So maybe one day, if I'm bored, I'll go back and look at it. But with their rankings, that's politics. So it is what it is. But they weren't giving. I knew what. That's why I went to look it up. I'm like, they are not giving Colorado 9. I already told y'all we have between 12 to 14 players that declared for the draft. I said that with the entire wide receiver core, including Travis, even though he wasn't a senior. And think about it, if Travis was a senior, that would have been another invite to the Shrine Bowl. And Colorado actually had the most players at the Shrine Bowl. And out of that Shrine Bowl, I think only 3 people got invites. So that meant Shilo and Cameron Silver-Craig, who, by the way, did not play in the game. And it seems that he had the impression that he was told he didn't have to. So we know Will Shepherd proved himself. We know Shedeur was asked not to work out. And it seems like the Titans were one of the teams that asked him not to, to play, but then he don't have a workout for them. So, but it's not like Shedeur really needs to do anything other than his height and his weight. To me, same thing with Travis. Travis is a Heisman winner. Why is he working out at the combine at all outside of his height and weight? What does Travis have to prove at corner or receiver? I mean, that makes no sense to me. But to me, I just feel like they already know Will Shepherd and Shilo. They know where they'll be drafted. Some people say day 3. I say day 2. It's politics. That's just what it is. It's just politics. That's just what it is. It's just politics. I mean, that's nowhere to say it. Juanita said Notre Dame program is, let me see. Let me get these comments. It said, if BYU only have 1 player, it's most definitely politics because it's some dogs on that team. Think about it. There are only 37 players from the Big 12 overall. Let me see if I still have it up in front of me. Players from the Big 12. Let's see. Hold on one second. Yeah, I think it was only 37. Think about it, guys. You know how many? Think of what? 16 teams in the Big 12? So, I mean, that tells you everything you need to know right there. This is the number of politics. And yeah, I don't know how BYU only had 1, but I went over the list. Let's see. I think I had to put Big 12. Big 12 conference. Hold on, it's not there. Here it is. Big 12 football lists the players in 2025 scouting combine. Big 12 will be represented at the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine. Somebody out of Austin wrote this. Shout out to Patrick Kahn, College Sports Wire. He out of Austin. Quarterbacks. The only quarterback in the combine this year from the Big 12 is Shedeur Sanders. The only quarterback invited to the combine from the Big 12 is Shedeur Sanders. Anybody know of another quarterback that pops out? That's eligible for the draft? Let me know. The running backs are Taj Brooks, Texas Tech, DJ Giddings, Kansas State, Ollie Gordon II, Oklahoma State, RJ Harvey, Central Florida, and Devin Neal from Kansas. So that really was Kansas, UCF, OSU, Kansas State, and Texas Tech. No Cincinnati, no Cincinnati, no Arizona State, no Iowa. All right, wide receivers: Jack Beck, Texas Christian; Jaden Higgins, Iowa State; Jimmy Horn Jr., Colorado; Kobe Hudson, Central Florida; Josh Kelly, Texas Tech. Let me know how many times you hear BYU. Sir McMillan, Arizona; Jalen Noel, Iowa State; LaJonte Wester, Colorado; Savion Williams, Texas Christian. Did Savion Williams go to Colorado at some point? Is that who I think it is? And then we have the tight ends: Jalen Conyers, Texas Tech; somebody named Brant from Utah. Let me know when you hear BYU. Offensive line: Logan Brown, Kansas; Wyatt Millam, West Virginia; Caleb Rogers, Texas Tech; Jonah from Arizona; Jalen Travis from Iowa State. Have you heard me say BYU multiple times? And then defensive line players. We have Tyler Batty, Brigham Young. I remember him at the Shrine Bowl. Steve Linton, Baylor. Sean Martin, West Virginia. Junior, Utah. Linebackers, Nick Martin, Oklahoma State. Colin Oliver, Oklahoma State. Defensive backs. Now, defensive backs are BJ Adams, Central Florida. Kobe Bryant, Kansas. Mello Dotson, Kansas. Travis Hunter, Colorado. McMillan, Central Florida. Jacob Parrish, Kansas State. Darian Porter, Iowa State. Marquise Sigel, Kansas State. Malik Verlon, Iowa State. And that's it. Now you heard that, right? So how many times you hear me say BYU? So maybe BYU, based on that list, only has one player who declared for the draft, and that's eligible. That's what you're supposed to take away from that. Because how on earth does BYU have one player, and I know I read off Kansas and Kansas State multiple times, and none of them were in the top 3, top 4, top 5. Let's talk about the Big 12 rankings. This how you know it's politics. And y'all notice, did they have Travis as a receiver? Big 12 football said it. Let's see, by conference, let's see. Okay, Arizona State is ranked first in the Big 12. Then it's Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado. All had a 7-2 conference record. So they were all tied in the conference for first. Then it's Baylor. How many times you hear me say Baylor? TCU. I only said it a couple of times, once or twice. Then it's Texas Tech. Then it's Kansas State, West Virginia, Kansas, Cincinnati, Houston. I don't even know if I said Houston once. Utah, Arizona, UCF, and then Oklahoma State dead last. You see what I mean by politics? This is politics. The best players, look at this. That's why Colorado only have 4. Because look at who was after Colorado in terms of the standings. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Baylor. So Baylor don't have any seniors. TCU, only 2 players. Texas Tech, Kansas State. So after Colorado, who has 4, so Arizona State has only 4. So I'm assuming it's not a lot of seniors or people declaring for the draft at Arizona State. That's what you have to assume, that they went to the semifinals and they only have 4 players wanting to go to the NFL at Arizona State. Iowa has 5, and they didn't go to the semifinals. They went to the Pop-Tart Bowl and they won the Big 12 Conference. Then there's BYU, who you only heard me say BYU one time, and then there's Colorado with 4. And then it's Baylor, TCU, Tech, and Kansas State. So you really think they were going to give Colorado 9? They weren't going to even give Colorado 5. Because why? Iowa State won the Big 12. They might have let Iowa State outdo Arizona State, but do you really think they were going to let Colorado outdo Iowa State and Arizona State? Shador already won Big 12 Player of the Year. He's already a Heisman candidate. So Travis won all of the awards. So we damn sure not getting all the NFL invites, but we going to see who get drafted. That's what we going to see. We going to see who get drafted. This is politics, and they can use it as a recruiting flex, and that's cool. But at the end of the day, there's no way Kansas State should have all of these players more so than Colorado. Absolutely not. Tell me I'm wrong. BYU with 1 player? If somebody can Google how many players for BYU football declared for the NFL draft, please let me know. Because if I don't look it up today, I'm going to look it up tomorrow, because that's a slap in the face to BYU. I mean, you was going to have to slap somebody, but it wasn't going to be Colorado. We already had Shador and Travis, and y'all know they didn't give LeJontay an invite right away. So we really were going to only have 3. Travis and Shador were a lot. So they kind of don't really count. We were going to have 1. that was Jimmy Horn Jr. Then people got upset. LeJontay got his, but then Will Shepard got left out. Then Shilo gets left out. Then Cameron McCrae left out. BJ Green, Chidozie. Chidozie is already discussed by Sports Illustrated and the Las Vegas Raiders. So this is politics. It's politics. It's the hello coaching up from the beginning. From my understanding, everyone doesn't go to the combine. No, and it's not even mandatory. It's not even mandatory. This is a recruiting flex. It's built, the foundation is politics. So yes, Juanita, you're correct. But Will Shepherd didn't get invited, but you don't hear anybody talking about that. You just see stories, kind of hatred. Oh, Shilo Sanders snubbed. Was he really snubbed? Did he really need to go to the combine? Have people say it out loud? The combine is not mandatory. If all Shador is gonna go and do is do his height and his weight, and he was an automatic bid for it, then and if two-thirds of the people invited get drafted and the others don't, what do you use the combine for? Marketing for the NFL. It's a week-long event. It's a recruiting flex for all of these schools that want to go out here and recruit against Notre Dame, Ohio State, and UT, Colorado, Syracuse, to say, hey, they probably gonna go to UT anyway. They're probably gonna go to Notre Dame. They're probably gonna go to Ohio State. But for the ones that want to go to Colorado, or they want to go to Syracuse, yeah, they're gonna be like, hey, come to an SEC school. We had the most NFL combine invites. Hey, come to this school. Colorado only had 4. You might not make it to the NFL. Because, that's the big draw. People come to Colorado because they want to get to the next level, and they do. So like I say, we're going to see who get drafted. So in addition to a marketing tool for the NFL, in addition to a recruiting tool to hype up some schools programs because they can't do it on their own. They have to try to, compete against the Colorados and Syracuse of the world, and Georgia Tech too. And then, it's just straight up politics after that. So that's all. It said, okay, if you but them original Bamas, like, let's for real. I don't have no issue with Alabama, but I'm just saying, like, it's politics. Happy Thursday, everyone in the chat. All right. Hey, Kiel, it said they don't play nobody. 400 Circle Media, who don't play nobody? SEC, we hit hard. Yeah, okay. It said Notre Dame football program is independent, so they're not in a conference. They have a liquid TV deal with NBC by themselves. Oh yeah, I did say that was a good move, but I thought I heard that they were thinking about getting into a conference for football, but I could be wrong. They get to keep all of their money, so to me it makes sense for Notre Dame to stay independent. It said, I think he's not going to the combine because they already know where he's going. If you're talking about Shilo, Juanita, I totally agree. Same thing with Will Shepherd. What she said, I like your page, but SECs run this. Y'all just run ESPN. That's what y'all run. And you only doing what you're doing because you got UT to come over. So let's be real. If you take UT out of the SEC, what else y'all got? Georgia. Sometimes. Alabama, but without Nick Saban, not so much. It said, who y'all play? Come on now. Our schedule wasn't easy in my opinion. Well, some of it. Port U of H, I don't even know if they had one person going. It said, we're going to be good at the next level. Absolutely. Everybody knows Colorado had an elite wide receiver core. So they weren't going to invite everybody. And they surely weren't going to give Colorado its due in the Big 12. Look at how Colorado was cheated in the Big 12. It's clear that they didn't want them to get to the Big 12 game. And if so, win it. And we got tied to that ridiculous bowl game that I know it was a contract for, but it was ridiculous. We played a conference game. And then we lose the shirt off our backs. And then BYU gets only one invite to the combine. So, maybe they don't have any seniors. That's what I'm thinking. Bama is my team, but they fell off a couple of years ago. That's Juanita. You can come over to Colorado, Juanita. I'm assuming you're a Bucks fan. It say you got to do a live panel. We'll be on here for 4 hours. We're going to get there. It said, no way, nothing has really changed. No, nothing has changed. It says it's a lot for hidden gems somewhere always. Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think Shilo has to, in my opinion, work out at the combine. Now, I'm pretty sure when they come to Colorado's pro day, they'll get to see him run the 40. But then again, maybe they saw what they needed to see because Shilo played 3/4, if not 85% of the Shrine Bowl game, and he walked away with an honorable mention. But we did have two players, and Justin Mayers and Chidozie Nwankwo, be standouts at the Hula Bowl, and they didn't get invites either. And the Hula Bowl had 28 invites, and they didn't get one. So maybe they don't need it. It said raise the draft stock with all of these coaches, evaluate the talent. That's why the combine is necessary. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't think Shilo and Will need it. I don't. It says BYU has 5 players that have declared for the draft. So out of 5 players, they got 1 invite. Politics. 37 players from the Big 12. That tell you what they think about the Big 12. And most of them, I heard a lot of Kansas State. Did y'all notice that? Why? They weren't even in the top 5. I get Iowa State. I don't know how Iowa State have more than Arizona State, but I get Iowa State, okay, Arizona State, and I get Colorado. Colorado should have had more than that. But BYU to only have 1, like, that's a slap in the face. Politics. It's just politics, especially in the Big 12. If you forget, I don't participate with the SEC, but that's politics for sure, that they got the most. But at the same time, within the Big 12, to only have 37 overall, and the majority not come from, it seems like, the number 1 and number 2 teams. So 4 and 5 is 9. And they had 37. Then you add Colorado to that, 9 plus 4 is 13. BYU 14. So 14 came from 4 schools, and then there was the rest of the difference between 14 and 37 came from the other schools, and they weren't even ranked at the top. Like, that's politics. That's all it is. It said we really need to do a panel. We probably will get one. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I'm like, we gonna get one. It says SEC, I'm here. So that's what it is. And when I heard earlier, I saw all the notifications blowing up my phone. Shilo snubs, Shilo left out. I was like, yeah, maybe he didn't need to go. Nobody's having a hissy fit because Will Shepherd got left out. Cameron Silver-Craig got left out. BJ Green, Chidozie Nwankwo. So to me, all of the hype is, just about Shilo because he's a Sanders. And I told y'all, there are a lot of people out there who don't want Coach Prime to get both of his sons drafted in the NFL. And just in case you're not paying attention, they try to snub Shedeur too. They're trying to snub Shedeur. With Tennessee basically saying, hey, we're willing to discuss options regarding our first pick. And I don't know if you've listened to all of the hatred that's kind of starting to brew, but it's you've heard people say multiple times, by people I mean media analysts, this quarterback class just isn't good. Yeah, I think the veteran pool of quarterbacks will be better for the teams that want to pick quarterbacks. And who we're talking about? Daniel Jones, maybe Matthew Stafford. If the Rams don't want to re-sign Matthew Stafford, why would he be a gym pick over Shilo Sanders, Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, Will Howard, or Kyle McCord? You see? And then they're talking about Minnesota's quarterback. And I'm like, Sam Darnold, he could be a gem. And then this whole thing with Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, did he not work out in Green Bay at the end? Did he not work out in the Jets? Why are we constantly shopping somewhere for Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones? So, so I'm pretty much, just saying, I'm already hearing the hatred, being packaged up as expertise that this is not the best quarterback class. They try to, have Jalen Milroe go in the 3rd round. Thankfully, the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft are Cam, Shedeur, or Shedeur and Cam, however you take your pick, and then Jalen Milroe. They are the top 3 quarterbacks, which is why I believe, again, politics. You're hearing people say, oh, this draft class isn't good. The New York Giants suddenly aren't looking at a quarterback. They might get one in the 2nd round. The Titans, who need a quarterback, they want to trade their pick and maybe get a veteran. So that leaves only one QB to be drafted in the first round. And that means Shedeur could fall to 6 if the Raiders keep their current pick. And what would happen to Cam Ward? Would he drop down in the second half, in the second round? Or if Cam Ward goes to whoever picks first, then what does that mean for Shedeur if the Giants are passing on a quarterback, if Tennessee's passing on a quarterback? You see what I'm saying? So to me, the shenanigans, the BS-ery has already started with the draft. And then now it's moving on to the combine. So people saying Shedeur is going down to the 6th. Cam, we don't know where he going. And then now you hear about Shilo. So it's just politics. Like I said, we're going to see who get drafted. We're going to see who get drafted. And to me, they're trying to use the veterans, pitting the veterans against the rookies to try to say, well, let's just get the veterans. Now, if you look at the veterans they're talking about, now I did hear somebody say Russ, but for the most part, I heard Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, and possibly Matthew Stafford. And then I thought I heard one analyst say, well, what about Russ? Some people say Russ was washed up before he left Pittsburgh. So it's just politics. It's just politics. And it's really about people's preferences. That's really what all of this is about. People's preferences. The NFL Combine is about recruiting. It's about marketing. And it's just, the foundation is just politics at the conference level and overall when it comes to all of the conferences. Which conference is really the best? Well, if you say it's based on which one has the most NFL Combine invites, people are going to say the SEC. But when you say, okay, then who went to the semifinals and who went to the national championship? How many SEC schools is that? Right. Okay. So that's what I mean by politics at every level. The NFL draft and the NFL Combine. And they were not going to let Colorado outdo the SEC. Number one, the SEC and Iowa State or Arizona State. So that's where I stand with that. It said, hell now, Rodgers the GOAT, and I'm a Jets fan. Good luck for you, because they getting themselves a quarterback. I said Jalen Milroe or Cam Ward should go to the Jets, but I don't know what pick they have. I think they're number 9 in the top 10. So maybe that means that Shedeur goes to Vegas and Cam Ward goes to the Jets. James said, hello, everybody. Compared to the last 5 draft classes, the bottom, top to bottom, this one is a weak draft. Shedeur and Cam are going to thrive in the right system, but those two don't overcome a weak draft historically. What makes the draft weak? Please tell me what makes it weak, because everybody seems happy that edge rushers are getting their time in the top, the first round. What makes it weak? I need to know what makes it weak before you call it weak, and I agree. So that's what I need to know, James. What makes this class weak? Because I just see the top 3 quarterbacks are black. So tell me what makes it weak. Because they have O-linemen, they have wide receivers, they have all the usual players. There's only one running back, which is typical for the position, because it's just not, a priority a lot of the times. I've heard that with my own 2 ears. So tell me what makes it weak. I need to know, because I disagree. I think when you have Shilo Sanders and Cam Ward going number 1 and number 2, that's pretty darn strong. Considering you don't know which one is going to go 1 or 2. Shilo Sanders came out as the most sought after QB. Jalen Milroe took his team to SEC title game. So tell me what makes it weak. I haven't heard anybody say what makes it weak. To me, the veteran class is weak. That's what's weak. Because I don't know why we trying to hype up Daniel Jones here. We know his tenure with the Giants. We understand Aaron Rodgers' issues at his former teams, and his age is, basically starting to limit his opportunities. I can't speak to Sam Darnold. I know he recovered after he left the Carolina Panthers, and it seems that the Atlanta Falcons decided to get Kirk Cousins because they were willing to part ways with him because they were getting Sam Darnold, but he's just a free agent, so he probably could end up somewhere. Russ, I don't know what's going to happen with Russ. Half people say he washed up, then the other half said he can be on the veteran market as a backup. I don't know. And then there's Stafford. Stafford is waiting for the Rams to offer him a deal, but if they don't, then that tells me they're going to draft the quarterback. It said they have NFL experience or Pro Bowl experience. That's why they look. That's why they look at the college quarterbacks. Oh, because they don't. Okay, so how has that worked out so far? Because outside of Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, C.J. Stroud, hell, if we could have saw Michael Penix Jr. play, when we did see him play, he was good. So I'm not seeing enough. I mean, Daniel Jones got experience, right? Don't he have experience? And what's the value of it? Was it the system he was playing in, like Saquon Barkley? Is it that Daniel Jones could go to a different team and ball out like Saquon Barkley did? Is that what you mean? He has value, that he has experience? I hope the Jets get Cam. I think the Jets might get Cam. I learned a new word, the BSery. Yes. That's what it is. I'm just gonna call it. I listen to these shows in the background and I look up for my laptop and I just roll my eyes because it's BSery. You can see it. Just like I can see the politics. You can see the politics with these NFL combine invites, even within the Big 12 alone. You can see it. So that's BSery. And then all of this talk about, oh, this is not the best draft class as far as quarterbacks. They didn't say other people. They said quarterbacks. I totally disagree. I think both Cam and Shedeur and Jalen Milroe have the ability to be dynamic. And I think that's what they're afraid of. Because Shedeur Sanders could be just as successful as Jaden Daniels. So could Cam Ward. And they finally stopped trying to pit them apart, realizing, oh, they got the same quarterback coach. And they the same quarterback. Yes, they are. They finally caught on. So no need to pit those two together. We just gonna throw them out the first round. That's the hope that they have. That's why they're pushing Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers. Who's gonna sign Aaron Rodgers to a 5 or 6 year contract? Let's be real. So you want a quarterback for a year or two, and then you want to get a new system after that. Come on now. Come on. Do you want to win? Is that what it is? Because I thought you wanted to win. The Washington Commanders gave me the impression that they wanted to win. So not only did they sign Jaden Daniels, they started him. Had the Atlanta Falcons signed and started Michael Penix Jr., we probably would have advanced. But they didn't, and they didn't. BSery. That's what that looks like. Benching your $100 million quarterback in favor of a 30-some-odd old plus guy that another team was happy to part with. So somebody could pay his contract, and you overpaid him, and then look what you got. You got what you paid for. BSery. So that's what it is. That's what it is. And it's just so annoying. Because if you just let these guys play ball and stop trying to put obstacles in their way and hate on them or bitching them because you just not ready to see them take the helm, the league will be better off. But that's not the case. We have to sit up and listen from now for the next 70 days until the NFL draft and hear them, oh, Shedeur is not good enough. His arm isn't good. He can't, the ability to get out the pocket is not there, which is all false. We don't hear nothing about Cam Ward. They just want him to go before Shedeur. And then now, since Tennessee wants to give up their pick, suddenly the Giants, who need a quarterback, want to get somebody that they can develop when they need to win right now. But because their fan base will show up anyway, they're willing to be mediocre forever until the cows come home. Because, well, my fans still gonna come to the game. That's what it is. It's BSery. Shedeur and Cam both are going to go to teams better than Washington Commanders and go to the playoffs. I think so. But first, they got to get to a good system. And Tennessee doesn't seem like they want to be good. They want to keep struggling. So, okay. Cleveland, I don't know. I don't know about Cleveland. They can't do anything with a quarterback anyway. And then there's the Giants. I told y'all the Giants was not drafting Shedeur. I told y'all if they draft Shedeur, it'll be a miracle. Aaron Rodgers is washed up. Thank you, D-Lay. From a football perspective, absolutely. So for them to be excited about Aaron Rodgers being on the market for how long and what we gonna do? Like, come on, like that's a waste of time. It's the system. Yeah, I know it is, Kim. That's why it's called. That's why I say it's BSery. The Jets. We need Cam. I hope the Jets get Cam. I think they have the ninth pick. I think Kia. Remember one day we were looking at the draft order and we said, "Oh, the Jets are in the top 10," and we were talking about who could go where because we said that the Jets could possibly get Cam if Tennessee doesn't want a quarterback. I think Shador is going to be the first person off the board, because it's likely that the Raiders will trade up. And then Jalen Milroe was slated to go to the Saints, but now that they hired Kellen Moore, they might change that. Jackson Dart was slated to go, I forgot what team he was slated to go to. But I said he should probably go to the Saints. He seems like a better fit for the Saints. There are people that thinks he need to go to Vegas. I heard that today. I was like, okay. Stafford and Rodgers are Hall of Fame Super Bowl. Daniel Jones is not better than Cam or Shador. Of course he's not. And that's cool that Stafford and Rodgers are Hall of Fame Super Bowl players. So let me see the Rams re-sign and give Stafford big money. So if he all of that, let me see them re-sign him and give him big money. If they don't, that's very telling. They said he might be on the market with one of his best buddies, Cooper Kupp. If they don't re-sign him, you're going to have to tell me why. Because clearly they don't care about their future Hall of Fame and Super Bowl winning. What have you done for me lately? Maybe that's the song they playing. Rodgers is the GOAT. Is or was. And for how long? If it's present tense is, how long should a team, what contract is Rodgers going to be signed to? 2 years, 3 years? What do you think? So, I just think that that's what it is. I just think it's BSery, all of it. All of it. I can't wait to draft day. The combine starts, I think is it the next week or the week after? Let's see. The combine starts on, let's see. Looking for my calendar. Let's see. The combine starts in 2 weeks. So on the 23rd, I think, they have a date for the 23rd. Let's see, I have a calendar in front of me. All right, so it says right here that the combine starts on Sunday, February 23rd. The first group to work out, PK, punters and kickers, defensive linemen and linebackers. So we don't have any of that in the draft. Then we go to Monday, February 24th. Punters. Okay, the punters are going to register, do pre-exams, orientation, and team interviews. Punters, kickers, defensive linemen, and linebackers. That's on Monday. On Monday, also, the defensive backs and tight ends, early player arrivals. So if Travis is working out as a defensive back, he's going to early player arrival on Monday, the 24th. Then on Tuesday, the 25th, the running backs, quarterbacks, and wideouts, wide receivers, they're going to arrive. They're going to register, do orientation and team interviews on Tuesday. So most of our team is the Buffs, or Tuesday, February 25th. And then Travis is also, if he's working out as a corner only, he's on Monday, the 24th. So Travis will be the 24th. Shador, Jimmy Horn Jr., and LaJohntay Wester are Tuesday the 25th. So y'all got those dates, right? So y'all got those dates. So yeah, to me, it's just marketing for the NFL because it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory. So, I'm checking to see when it came to wide receivers in the Big 12. Let's see. I'm trying to see where they had Travis because I know they had him as defensive backs. I'm trying to see that they have him listed as a receiver too. Travis Hunter was listed with the defensive back groups. He's not even listed with the receivers. So that might be why he's working out that way. Maybe they're like, look, we need you to pick one. So to come to the combine and work out. So it said, no, they're not protesting the last two home games. You can buy a ticket for $1 on StubHub, and they flew that plane 3 times of the Giants Stadium, demanding the coach get fired. Wait, I must be missing the conversation. Let me go up. D-Lay said Rodgers is washed up, but he an OG to the NFL business. It says, so they are going to let him play as long as he wants, kind of like LeBron's situation. LeBron is not washed up, D-Lay. That's not the LeBron situation. LeBron is not washed up. He's clearly an asset to the team. I can't believe you said that, D-Lay. I'm going to share it, but I can't believe you said that. What she said, there you go. He is. I don't know if you talked about Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is the GOAT. Okay, but who's going to sign Aaron Rodgers to a long-term contract right now? Would you really pass up on a Shilo Sanders or Cam Ward to sign Aaron Rodgers for how many years? Sound like another Kirk Cousins situation waiting to happen. Because it didn't go well with the Jets. Why? Didn't Devontae Adams leave Vegas, therefore giving the Vegas Raiders another pick, a 4th round pick, which could go up to the 2nd round, to go play with the Jets? I mean, he wanted to go play with Aaron Rodgers. How did that work out for the Jets? Said no, they're not protesting and see. It said the Giants fans didn't show up. The owner was upset. He was sick. That's why he gave him 1 year to turn around. What? Oh, I didn't know about all of that, Kiel. Okay, so the Giants fans were essentially protesting by not showing up. That's what you have to do. That's what happened in Carolina. I mean, I don't know if it was a plan or they just got frustrated, but their tickets were like $1. Thank you for that, Kiel. That's good. So maybe they will get it together. But if they already talking about dropping down into the 2nd round to get somebody, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart at the top of the 2nd round, I don't know who's at the bottom. They had Will Howard and Dylan Gabriel. So they might feel like they could get a gem in the 2nd round. But see, this is the problem I have with the owner of the Jets allowing somebody that he got to put on the clock to get it together or get gone. Why would you let that person set up your future? Explain that. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me. Hind parts. It says, yep, I remember. It says, we can't name 5 guys in the 3rd without looking at a mock draft. Last 5 years, this wasn't the case. This was why they say the draft is weak. You can't name 5 guys. I mean, maybe you just out of touch with who's playing. And what does that say when the SEC has the most invites to the combine, but you can't name nobody? Politics. Like I said, politics. I recognize the guy's name from BYU, Batty. He was good in the Shrine Bowl. I saw him playing next to Shilo, or around Shilo. So I remember his name. It said Rodgers is gone. Juanita, he should be. It said, D-Lay said, never mind. I found out he got cut. I thought y'all knew he wasn't there. That's what I said. Rodgers is on the free agent market or the whatever as a veteran. And they're saying that the veteran market is a better go-to for the Titans and the Giants and any other team looking for a quarterback. And I said, BS. It says, so yeah, he got cut. I knew he was gone. I just thought y'all realized I was saying he was a veteran. Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers, possibly Matthew Stafford, and Sam Darnold. And if Matthew Stafford is not re-signed by the Rams, I'm going to get me a rookie quarterback and go for the gold, just like Washington did with Jalen Daniels, because it's proven that they can. See, that's the whole problem right there. It's already proven these rookies can start and ball out and win. But see, most of the establishment wants the rookies to sit behind people like Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones. Give me a Jada Daniels. Give me a CJ Stroud. Yeah. Give me a Michael Penix Jr. Shador, Cam, Jalen Milroe, hell, Will Howard. I don't know why he's so low in the draft. Cam and Shador don't make up the whole draft 8 rounds worth. We got to tell the truth. That doesn't mean, no, I said the QB class. They're saying the QB class is weak. Why is it weak? It's not weak. I'm not defending the entire draft. I clearly don't know 329 people. I said the QB class. You notice I'm focusing on the quarterbacks. So the whole draft in itself has the typical parts in it. The difference with this year is the edge rushers are heavy. Outside of Abdul Carter, I really don't know another edge rusher. I just noticed that Ashton Jeanty was going number 10 or number 6. I thought there would be more running backs, but there's not. But in terms of the quarterback class, like, I don't think it's weak. That's why I said that's BS-ery. Cam and Shador are both elite quarterbacks that could probably be just as successful in a great system. Let's be clear about that. A great system. And that's what there's a lack of. There's a lack of good systems out there. So it's like you got to pick the short straw. And you got Jaden Daniels balling out in Washington. You had CJ Stroud balling out with the Texans until his O-line decided, they couldn't get it together. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think the politics here with the quarterbacks is there are still a lot of people who don't want the rookies to start their first year. They want them to sit behind somebody. And that experiment failed miserably in Atlanta. That's my point. We need to move away from that. That's old thinking. That is old thinking. Clearly, it didn't work in Atlanta, but clearly it worked well with Jaden Daniels. It worked with CJ Stroud. That's what I said. The politics here is why you hear these analysts saying the quarterback class is not the best and the veterans are a better choice. That's politics. That's BS-ery. It said word on the curve. They are trying to see what Rodgers has going on. Let's see. Hold on one second. The word on the curve. They are trying to see. They are waiting to see what Rodgers wants to do. See who you talking about, Juanita? It said, I wonder where Russell going. People say Russell was supposedly going with Pete Carroll to the Vegas Raiders, but what I read today seems like the Raiders are saying they could get a veteran or they could spend big money on a rookie. I think Shador is going to the Raiders. I think with the Titans bowing out of getting a number 1 pick, they had, it's been said that Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, or Cam Ward were the likely players to go to Tennessee. They're saying they want to trade that pick, Juanita. So I said instead of the Raiders, if the Raiders are going to trade from 6-2 with Cleveland, now they can trade from 6-1 to get Shador. They asked Shador, would he sit behind someone for a year or 2? And he said he'll do whatever. Of course, that's the right answer. That's the right answer. You can't say no. I don't know if Travis basically saying he was preparing teams to play both ways, basically caused a little wrinkle somewhere because he is only working out one way. I don't know if that's why. I don't know if the decision has been made. Even in the Big 12, he's invited to the combine as a quarterback. So he's either working out as a quarterback because that's the only role he was slated to work out as, and maybe they're trying to pigeonhole him into the cornerback going into the draft, but wide receivers make more money. Oh, you're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you for that. It says, I do too. I think Shador is going to the Raiders. Yeah, I think Shador is going to the Raiders. I was actually sitting in the audience when a Raiders pod, they were talking, and the guy, I forget his name, but he was really nice. He sent up a heart in the reply, and he sent up the eyes like, oh, you watching me? Because they were talking about who they could get for quarterback. I said Shador Sanders. Shador Sanders. And he looked like, you a Buff fan? Yeah. Yes, and I do think that, in my opinion, that's where he's going. I think he's going to end up being the number 1 overall pick in the draft if the Tennessee Titans want to play and negotiate their first pick. It's not saying that Tennessee doesn't really want a quarterback. For whatever it is, it sounds like they want more picks than they have, and maybe they could stack up, but they don't see any value in Travis, Abdul Carter, or Cam Ward. And to me, that's 3 different positions. And if they don't want that, they feel like whatever they need, they could get it later. To me, it sounds like what Kiel said the Giants are saying. Hey, we can drop down in a second and get a younger player like a Jalen Milroe or a Jackson Dart and sit him behind Will Levis or Sam Darnold. Something like that. That's what it seems like that they want to do. And that's cool, because that means that Shilo Sanders can possibly go number 1, because I believe the Raiders gonna trade up for Shador. And one announcer at one of these big box channels was like, oh, Cam Ward to the Raiders. And people in the comments ripped him apart. They were like, you know darn well, Shador is going to the Raiders. So that's why I said, if the Raiders were going to trade up from 6 to 2 with Cleveland, and now that Tennessee has put their intentions out there regarding, willing to trade, Shador could go from Vegas, could trade up from 6 to 1, and Shador can go number 1 overall, which means Travis, if they want to force him into that cornerback slot, is a lot for Cleveland, which means Colorado, Buffaloes have not only 2 Heisman candidates and a Heisman winner and a Johnny Unitas Award winner, they would have the number 1 and number 2 players drafted in the NFL. So that's what I did when I dropped that video yesterday. Y'all go watch it. If you already watched it, hit the like button or drop me a comment, an emoji, or fire sign or whatever, because I think that's where we're headed. Shador 1, Travis 2. I think that's where we're headed. So now Tennessee can change their mind at the last minute because they have a lot of power. There are a lot of teams that could trade up. The Jets could trade up. I don't know if the Jets would trade up from 9 to 1, but, depending on how many picks they have and what they truly need, if all the Jets really need is a quarterback, they still have Devontae Adams, right? They could trade up and they could get Cam Ward first. You see what I'm saying? So win-win. So it said, and Tom Brady is one of Shador's mentors. Right. So when I was sitting in their podcast in the comment section, just quietly minding my business or just minding their business and just listening to see where their thought process was, there were a lot of people that were talking about different people, and Shador didn't come up. So I just said Shilo Sanders, and I just feel like that's what's going to happen. But I told y'all there are some Raiders fans that were still holding on to the thought of Derek Carr being traded from the Raiders to the Saints. I'm like, I don't know. They might be Saints fans now. So we shall see. It said, and Tom Brady is one of. Absolutely. So it's been a good conversation. I think we all can walk away with some insight and understanding that the NFL Combine is not mandatory. If you don't go, it does not mean you don't get drafted. And if you do participate, it does not mean you get drafted. It is an NFL marketing tool. Shilo and Will Shepherd balled out at the Shrine Bowl. I don't think they need to do a combine. I think when they do pro day, their 40s can be assessed at pro day unless they don't run the 40 at pro day. If anybody has any insight into pro day, let me know. I think we understand when it comes to the invites, there's some politics at play, considering the SEC has the most. But then when it came down to the semifinals and when it came down to the Natty, what SEC school outside of UT was present. So I understand why UT has 14 invites. It just makes sense. But we're going to see who get drafted. That's what really matters. And, we talked about Travis basically, I guess, announcing that he's working out as a cornerback only for the combine. I don't like it, but, I guess he got to do what he got to do. I think he should go as a receiver because that's where the money is, but we'll see what happens with that. Travis also told us he can play baseball too, so you never know. You never know. It said, did you hear Jerry Jones told Deion he needs to move some things around Then Bucky muted it. I heard, okay, you talking about in New Orleans. What I saw and I heard was Jerry Jones tell Shador, we're gonna have to do some trading. But I didn't know he had a conversation outside of Dion, that's mine. I didn't know he had a conversation with Coach Prime after that. So thank you for that, Juanita. I might go back and look at that. So yeah, that's all I heard him say to Coach Prime. Oh, Dion, that's mine. So thank you for that, Juanita. And Bucky is a pro. He does mute certain things because even after Jerry Jones made that comment to Coach Prime, he transitioned into another frame. So I thought that was hilarious. So I do. Oh, you're talking about in Dallas? No, I didn't hear about that. I did not hear about that. Shilo could end up in Dallas. Shilo could end up in Atlanta. Shilo could end up in Baltimore. Shilo could end up in the 49ers. He could end up in Vegas. Remember when Devontae Adams left, there was a 4th round pick that was gained from the trade as part of the trade. And they said that pick could go from the 4th round to the 2nd round. When I heard that back then, I said, that's Shilo. But, I don't know. Now that there's a new coach, maybe that's not going to happen. But that could be another Colorado Buffalo because remember, the Vegas Raiders have already said that they had an eye on Chidozie Nwankwo. So they could get Shador in round 1 and they could get Chidozie 2nd or 4 or somewhere in between. So fingers crossed for all the guys. We'll see how many we get into the NFL, even though, politics kind of played it and limited our combine invites to 4. But that is 3rd and better than BYU. So go Buffs, go Buffs, that we got what we got. So I think our guys will be fine. I think they'll be fine. All right, y'all, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all were great tonight. I knew this was going to be a great conversation. Juanita, thank you so much. D-Lay, thank you. James, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate your insight. Kiel, as always, I appreciate your insight as well. 400 Circle Media, yes, we need a panel. We will get it maybe as we get closer to the draft. So thank you for that. Who else in here? We had Gracie was in here. Thank you, Gracie. Y'all had some good conversation tonight. I'm going back through the comments. Yeah, Juanita hung with us tonight. Thank you, Juanita. Join us. We're here every night at 8 p.m. If you can't make it every day, we totally understand. We're happy to see you when we can. It says reality checks the head. The SEC hung out with us for a minute tonight. Thank you, Reality Checks. It's Charmaine Yates. Yay, Charmaine. Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us. All right, y'all. So we're going to get out of here and see what percolates tomorrow and see what's going on. Is any other BSery is going to pop up tomorrow? I'm sure it is. 70 days until the NFL draft. All right, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank y'all. I hope to see you all soon. Same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now when the video goes off, you can watch another video based on the types of videos that you watch on your YouTube channel will be pushed out to you. Just click the video. It'll be to your left, facing left. And to your right is a subscribe button. It looks like the logo in our profile picture. Click it to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much. Everybody hit the like button if you have not, on your way out. Have a good night. Thanks for watching What She Said.